There's a theory or a saying or something that every critic is a failed artist. Many of them surely bitter that they can't create something themselves, so instead they look to tear down the creations of others. While I can't say I totally agree with this, nor does it really apply to me, I can see where the attitude comes from, so I'd like to talk a bit about that and my experience being a critic instead of a creator, as limited as it may be. The reason that theory doesn't apply to me in particular is because I've never really attempted anything else. You could say that I create videos, much like this one, that I create reviews or something of the sort, and I love that attitude. That critical analysis can be just as much of an art form as those which it seeks to deconstruct. Maybe that's because I have a giant bias and would love to be seen as an artist of sorts. Of course, there's a skill in writing any sort of analysis, while the prevalence of so many blogs, video essays, and general consumer reviews may dissuade you from believing so, I think that even many of the reviews posted on Steam's storefront are just as worthy pieces of writing as anything posted on another website. The barrier to entry is low, and the phrase "everyone's a critic" has never been more true or more felt in our day-to-day lives. Now, why am I even talking about this? Truth be told, it's just kind of a feeling that I continuously come back to as someone who has never invested time in anything as much as I have in this. I drew a little as a child, but never really took it seriously. I know a few chords on the piano, the steel pans, drums, but I've never really wanted to make music. So for me, it's this feeling of why? Why isn't there anything that I want to put into the world? Is it a lack of imagination, a lack of dedication, or just a lack of interest? I'd lean more towards the imagination one, and as much as I enjoy writing, I've never really had the desire to publish a book or write anything close to fiction. I only enjoy sharing my opinions and putting them down just as I am here, I guess. This feeling comes along whenever I see something truly incredible. I guess it's close to that of envy, I suppose. For example, I recently saw the musical Hamilton, which I was just absolutely blown away by. It's potentially the best thing that I've ever seen, or maybe even ever will see, on a stage. From beginning to end, I was just enthralled in it, but the main point is that it brought me back to this thought. I really want to make something that has this effect. But how? I'm no actor, nor do I want to be. This feels like the only thing that I'm good at. Is it really? Am I only good for sharing the work of others? The same thought runs through my mind after watching or listening to anything that connects with me. How will I ever make a review that does that, or a video for that matter that does that? Sure, you can connect with people through reviews, in the sense that we can share the same opinions. But nothing like that will compare to the feeling that I got watching Her, or listening to Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy at precisely the right time. Some critics are failed artists, I'm sure, but many I believe are like me. We don't really know how to create, we just know something good, at least in our opinion, when we see it, and want to share that with all of you. My favourite feedback isn't, "Hey, this was a great video," it's, "After watching this, I decided to try blank out, and I love it." That means I've done my job, the best part of my job at least, sharing fantastic creations with you all. While I'm sure many get a kick out of shitting on someone else's creation, the truth is that whoever is doing so, including me, wouldn't be able to make anything comparable to whatever we're critiquing. Does that make the opinions any less valid? Not to me. But then again, that's just my opinion. And I love opinions, whether they agree with mine or not. If they're well explained and presented, I just enjoy taking them in. That doesn't make for a very creative person, but not everybody is. Very few in the grand scheme of things are actually any good at it, especially. Maybe something inside me will shift and suddenly I'll want to produce music, write a novel, or I don't know what else. I'd like that to happen. The feeling of creating something or being a part of a creation is incredible. Terrifying too, I bet. Whether a million people see it or just one, there's something about bringing a wholly original creation into this world, good or bad. You know, at least it's yours, you know? You can look at it and still say, nobody could have made this but me. I came up with this idea, influenced by the ideas of many others, I'm sure, but that combination that you came up with is totally unique. So whatever you're creating, don't undermine it. Don't undermine yourself either. Not everything you make will be a masterpiece, but everything can be a step towards getting there if you allow it. The desire to create probably won't ever really leave me. I think there's a part of everyone who feels the same way, whether you act on it or not. I can't imagine not wanting to make someone feel the way pieces of media have made me feel. For now, the best I can do and will strive to keep doing is sharing those pieces with you all. Maybe I'll be the first failed critic to become an artist. This was the closest thing to a stream of consciousness I've ever written, and I'm recording this and I won't go back over and edit the text and make all little corrections or changes. It is what it is. While I'm starting to think part of it was a little close to that critic's speech at the end of Ratatouille, I hope I've brought something of a personal touch to it. So thank you for listening, thank you for reading, keep creating, and keep critiquing. We need you all.